guys, welcome to the video. In this tutorial we'll be creating a bloodshot eyes effect which works great for horror or zombie related artwork. So this is a piece that I've done recently for a book cover series, and I'm just going to show you the effects here. So you can see there's been processing and zombie skin effects and veins added to this piece, which I've done previously, but today we're just focusing on these bloodshot eyes. So here I've got a layer group, and I'm just going to show you before we go ahead what the effect looks like at the end. And a small breakdown of this: we have an eye mask for creating the selection area. We have the levels, which is where the bulk of the effect happens. We have some very subtle kind of color effects, and here we have the brightening of the iris, which I cover in another tutorial. So let's just get going on that. We'll hide that group and we'll create a new layer. The first thing that you need to do is create a selection around the eye area, and you need to do that for both eyeballs. So for this one, I'm just going to zoom in using Command and Plus. I'm going to hit P for pencil and create a selection around these eyes. So if you're unfamiliar with how to use the pencil, I have other tutorials on surrealpsd.com that you can check out. It's arguably the most versatile and useful tool in Photoshop, in my humble opinion. But what I'm going to do now is just go round and create a path around the whites of the eyes. So it doesn't have to be 100%. Just try and get it as good as you can. And this small area down here, we can go round that. It's just the whites of the eyes, the iris and the pupils that we want to capture. So I'm just going to move around this nice and fast. You can use your own techniques or your own methods to do this, but the pencil brings the best results. So I'll close the path, and that's one path area there. And what I'm going to do now is just do the same, but for the second area. I may go over those eyelashes here. So a bit of time-lapse magic and I'll get that done. And the second path there is now complete. So I'm just going to zoom out a bit so we can see what we're doing. So we have a new layer. What you need to do with the pencil active is to right click on your path, go fill path. On the drop down you can select black, that's fine, and then right click and go delete path. You can name this layer for reference just eye mask, that's fine, and that's the selection area that we use. So hide the eye mask, and then holding down Command or Control if you're on a PC and click the layer icon, that will create a selection based on that mask that we just created. With that selection active on the adjustment layers, you click adjustment layer. I'll bring that up so you can see that. And what you want to select is levels. Now with the levels, if you pull the middle slider to the right, that will darken the eye areas considerably. You'll see it's making the pupil and the iris go dark as well, but that's fine. You don't need to worry about that for now. And about there will do. Okay, and with that layer mask active on the levels, what you want to do is zoom in and hit B for brush, and you can right click and make sure the hardness is at 0. That's a soft edge brush. And you can use the square brackets on the keyboard just to enlarge your brush. And what you want is maybe just a little bit smaller than the iris itself. And then click a number of times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fine. And let's do that for the other one as well. I'm holding down the space bar and panning with the mouse to create the pan tool, and I'll do the same for this iris as well, and we'll have a quick look. So that's already adding a lot of character and bringing out the details of the whites of the eyes. Once you've done that, you can create a new layer and command and click the eye mask to create that that selection again. And on the new layer, change that to overlay. What you want to do is pick a darkish red and hit B for brush, and just take in around the edges, and this will accentuate the reds considerably. So we'll just do that around there. I'm panning again using the space bar on the keyboard. And if it's ever too kind of strong the effect, you can switch to E, which is eraser, make it a large soft edge eraser, and you can always taper back the effect to lessen the intensity. So let's just take that out a bit, see how we're looking. Command D, and that's already looking quite good. That's getting there. If it's too strong, you can always pull the opacity down on the top right of the layer stack. You can take that opacity down. Now for the original, I'm just gonna, these ones that I've been working with, I'm just gonna select all of them by holding down Shift and clicking, and then go Command and G, and that creates a group, so I can hide and show that all in one go. I'm gonna show the other one here, the one that we did before. You'll notice that the irises have been brightened, which I covered in another tutorial. I'm just going to show you how to do that really quick because it might be helpful for you. So I'm just going to hide these layers, and to create the bright irises, I click on the background layer and I go Command and J and change that to screen, and that brightens the irises. I'm going to go Command and J again, maybe once more, and then you see we have 3 duplicates here. And I'm just going to go Command E, that will merge down, so that's just one layer. So I'm going to move this up here to the group that we've just been working with, and I'm going to add a layer mask. And the layer mask by default is white, so Command and I to invert that to black. Hit B again for brush, and hit X to change it, the foreground color, to white. I'm just going to click a couple of times here to brighten this iris. And I'm going to switch the color again using X on the keyboard. And I'm just going to get these edges here to pull that back just a tiny bit, so the soft edge brush would have went over the boundaries of the iris. And what I'm also going to do is just get this pupil as well, and repeat that for the other eye. So hit X, so white is the foreground color. Hit B for brush, change the brush size with the brackets, click a couple of times, hit X to switch to black, change the size, and just take away at the edges there. And get the pupil, make sure that's black. Okay, I'm just going to show the levels now, and the red on the overlay layer, which is a nice rich red. You see I took the opacity back a tiny bit. Now you may notice that these edges are quite sharp and unnatural. So for instance, I can click on the levels there, select the blur tool and put strength to 100. We'll take that size down using the square brackets on the keyboard, and you can just go along the edges of this and make the edge more natural. You can see this line here, ignore that, that's from a previous effect. So if you ever have any stark lines like this, you can just simply get the blur tool and soften the edges manually. So I'm going to do that here with the levels, and maybe click on that overlay layer and give that a little bit of a smudge as well, bit of a blur. Levels here, just soften up the edges, make it a bit more natural, and there we go. And here we have the iris brighten, and you could just zoom out a bit. Let's just put that there. zoom out a bit, and if it's too strong, again, just go to the opacity and bring that down or up as you need it. So that's basically the overall process. You can tweak any of these steps and add in your own steps to get a unique effect. We've just done a big series of horror tutorials, so if you want to have a look at the evil eyes technique more in depth, or the other kind of zombie effects, be sure to go over to surrealpsd.com and check out the rest of our selection. Thanks for viewing, guys. See you later.